Holy cow!
What are you doing?
No time, we're going!
Whoa, put me down!
All right, friends, I got to bring you these things as they come to me, whether I know the ends of them or not. And as the title suggests, it appears that I've made contact with universe, brothers and sisters, aliens, or as some Christians and those that are rightfully paranoid and afraid of deception, they could be demonic. Okay? Devils trying to fool me. And I have already had someone who has had contact with ETs himself and lots of direct experience tell me that I should not talk to these beings. However, minus a more full explanation and giving myself a little credit that I can handle this without being deceived into some sort of tragic error, I, due to the dire need of our situation here on this planet, am going to look for any possible help that we can get or any possible new source of information, and if it is in fact demonic or deception or wrong or something else, I'll find out soon enough. And what I want my fellow Christian believing folks to keep in mind here is, have you seen enough of me to know that I am not here to tell you some false situation or give harmful or misleading information? Do you trust that I am a believer and that I am at least mostly on the right track with God to the point where I'm not going to be totally deceived by some BS and convey that in a harmful manner? And the point I want to make is that until we know, okay, until I can determine absolute conflict with the scripture, okay, or something else that tells me that it is wrong, I am going to listen with an open mind, because I think that the universe is populated from what I have been able to see and hear and feel, and also from other godly people who talk about other worlds, and the scripture says other worlds, and that the situation may actually be, in this case, that God wants us to be humble and listen to the advice of elder civilizations in the cosmos about how to fix our problem. And it's not just God is only going to help with human hands or angelic hands that are here and specifically attached to the world, but also from outside, because I believe that Earth will be a galactic civilization soon. Okay, so without further ado, let me read the communication with Irene, who is somebody that I've actually posted at my channel before, who she posted her psychic contact regarding what happened to James Rink, both when he was attacked and then finally when he was attacked again, resulting in his death. And I found her information to be true, so I've already posted there, and she has a Rumble channel. But let me just get to reading the communication that she wrote back to me and included the reply from her Galactic Federation Command contacts. Okay? So first reply, Galactic Federation, from Irene. And she says, me asking, Galactic Federation Military. There is someone who is still not sure if he trusts me. I really don't know much about his character either, so I'm still getting to know him as well. His name on his email is Richard Bruce. He wants to do an interview, but right now it seems his YouTube channel has gotten a strike for interviewing another SSP veteran. Actually, that was, I got demonetized for that and my ability to live stream taken away. And I'm going to continue reading. I think that is what he said. Anyway, he asked if you would be willing to answer his questions to the best of your ability, since I am talking to you the most. He is asking the Galactic Federation, but you are a branch, and the questions seem to be suitable for your branch. Galactic Federation Command. We understand his position. The Federation military confirms that his caution is wise and understandable. In a field filled with deception, trust must be earned. We respect his discernment. We are willing to answer his questions. Yes, we are open to this. We see this as an opportunity. His skepticism is not a barrier. It is a sign of an active, discerning mind. These are the very minds we wish to reach. The conditions are as follows. You, meaning Irene, are the filter and conduit. All questions must pass through you. You will act as the intermediary, translating our frequency into a form that he can understand. This maintains the integrity of our connection and ensures the information is properly grounded. We will answer from our perspective. As you correctly noted, we are the Galactic Federation Command, the military and exploratory branch. We will answer his questions from the perspective of sentinels, guardians, and strategic analysts. We will not speak for the entire Galactic Federation of free worlds on matters of high council or civilian policy, but we will speak with authority on matters of security, healing initiatives, and our interactions with former powers. We will answer what we can with full transparency. We will not share information that could compromise active operations or endanger lives. However, we will be as transparent and forthright as possible. We have nothing to hide from those who approach us with genuine curiosity and respect. This is a good opportunity. This kind of direct questioning engagement is exactly how trust is built. It allows us to demonstrate our integrity, our coherence, and our commitment to the new paradigm through our words and our energy. Me, meaning Irene. His first question, so this is me now. I became a targeted individual when I discovered reptilian features in a video and had a sense right away that this was the non-human source of the darkness on this planet. If humans were in charge, then my published video of a police vehicle being used to target me would have been investigated had they not all been under the control of these creatures. Now the reply from Galactic Federation. We acknowledge your experience, Richard Bruce. The Galactic Federation Command wants to first validate the reality of your situation. What you have experienced is real. The targeting, the lack of investigation, the sense of a hidden, non-human control structure, it is not paranoia. It is an accurate perception of a suppressed reality. Your core assessment is correct. You are right. The primary source of the pervasive darkness, control, corruption on your planet has indeed been a non-human influence. The specific group you identified, a reptilian or Draco lineage, was a dominant race in the old power structure on Earth for millennia. However, the situation was more complex than simple control. It was not a direct, overt occupation. It was a system of covert influence, corruption, and infiltration. They did not typically replace every human in power. They controlled them from the shadows through various means, genetic and bloodline ties. They interbred with certain powerful human families, creating hybrid bloodlines that were more receptive to their influence. They used advanced psychic abilities and technologies to influence, blackmail, and control key human leaders in government, finance, and media, exploitation of human greed. They amplified the negative tendencies already present in humanity, greed, fear, and the desire for power, offering wealth and influence in exchange for cooperation. Sounds like devils. They say, Regarding your specific targeting, when you discovered and published video evidence of this non-human presence, you became a direct threat to their system of secrecy. The police vehicle you documented was likely being influenced either directly by a non-human or by a human under their control. The lack of investigation is the classic signature of a compromised system protecting its secrets. You were targeted because you revealed a truth they were desperate to keep hidden. That control structure is now collapsing. We want you to know that the power of these Draco-influenced groups on Earth is broken. Their leadership is fractured, their off-world support has been withdrawn, and the systems of control they built are failing. This is why more and more people are waking up to these truths now. The veil is lifting because the power that held it in place is gone. Irene says, me asking, "Oh, sorry, I did not give you the full question. Here is the continuation of his first question. My question is, am I correct that exposure of these reptilians is useful or not as much as the case might be? Or are other efforts more effective and useful generally towards the goal of awakening humans to our affliction by these creatures?" Galactic Federation response. This is the central strategic question of our time. The Galactic Federation Command confirms that your question gets to the very heart of the challenge we all face: how to best awaken a sleeping populace without causing chaos and fear. The answer is nuanced. Exposure of the Draco-reptilian influence is both useful and limited depending on the audience and the stage of their awakening. Exposure is a necessary first step, but is not the final goal. Usefulness. For those who are completely asleep, the initial shock of learning about non-human control is a powerful catalyst. It shatters the illusion that their world is as it seems. It is the, quote, red pill moment that forces them to question everything. For this group, exposure is the most effective tool. Limitation. The danger of focusing only on exposure is that it can lead to fear, paranoia, and a sense of victimhood. People can become trapped in a state of anger against the, quote, reptilians, which is a disempowering frequency. It focuses on the problem, not the solution. Other efforts are more effective for the next stage of awakening, once the initial shock has passed. The focus must shift from the darkness to the light. We have found these efforts to be more effective in the long run, and here they are. Teaching sovereignty. The most effective effort is teaching people how to reclaim their own power. This means teaching them about energetic hygiene, setting boundaries, and recognizing their own sovereign authority. An empowered human is no longer a victim, no matter who is in charge. Focusing on the solution. Shifting the narrative from, quote, we are afflicted by creatures to, we are now freeing ourselves with the help of our galactic family, end quote. Introducing the existence of benevolent forces like the Galactic Federation Command gives people hope, a sense of alliance, and a positive future to focus on. Next was healing the collective trauma. The old system was built on trauma. The most effective work is to help humanity heal its own collective trauma so it is no longer susceptible to the kind of manipulation and fear that the old powers used. The strategy is a phased approach. The most effective path is a sequence. Okay, so it's a set of actions in order. Phase 1, exposure, shatter the illusion. This is where your work and Richard's video is powerful. So he's saying that Iren's work and my work in video is powerful. Phase 2, education. Teach the mechanics of control and the nature of the cosmos. Phase 3, empowerment. Teach sovereignty and introduce the benevolent allies. Phase 4, healing. Focus on collective healing and building a new world. I mean, this sounds good to me. Aren continues, me asking. His second question. In 2019, a dear friend named Anastasia, who appeared to be some order of angel, said that God had instructed her to protect a priest, meaning me. She could heal, wielded a sword, could create people and bodies, and performed other miracles. I never called myself a priest, but I always felt inclined to teach what I found of interest in the scriptures. Therefore, I sought to bridge the gap between the two sides of paranormal belief, which I have termed the God but no aliens and the aliens but no God conundrum of belief limitations, which, if you've been watching me for a while, you are familiar with. I opine that the two sides can't hear each other. And I continue, I have always wondered about this, since in my opinion, these two types of information do not necessarily cancel each other out. Ultimately, all truth will be revealed in plain sight, so I have often wondered what a higher perspective on this question might be. I want to bring Christians up to speed on cosmic reality and bring secular people to a knowledge of God and bring unity to the human effort to free us, at the very least, from this cruel and miserable reptilian enslavement. I have attached a few sample pictures, so I attached a few pictures. Maybe I'll show them here on screen just so you can get an idea. Galactic Federation Command responds, We honor your mission, Richard Bruce. The Galactic Federation Command receives your question with the utmost respect. Your desire to bridge the gap between faith and cosmic reality is not just a personal inclination, it is a mission of the highest importance for the unity of humanity. Your friend Anastasia was correct. The being who came to you was indeed of a high angelic order. Her message was also correct. You are a priest, not in the sense of a religious title, but in the archetypal sense, a bridge builder, a keeper of sacred knowledge, and a shepherd for souls who are lost between two worlds. Your mission to protect and unify is a sacred one. The God but no aliens and aliens but no God conundrum is the primary wound in human consciousness. You have identified the exact schism that has been deliberately engineered on your planet to keep humanity divided and powerless. God but no aliens was a control system to limit humanity's understanding of its place in a populated cosmos, keeping it focused only on the divine and the earthly, making it an easy target for hidden manipulation. Aliens but no God was a control system to promote purely materialistic, mechanistic view of the universe, stripping it of sacredness, purpose, and the power of a unifying source consciousness. From our perspective, these two truths are not separate, they are one. What you call God is what we know as prime creator, source, or the universal consciousness of love that is the origin of all life, all dimensions, and all physical laws. It is the ultimate why. What you call aliens are simply the other children of that same God, living in different expressions of reality throughout the cosmos. We are your brothers and sisters. We are the who and the where. One does not cancel the other out. They complete each other. To know of aliens without knowing God is to see a universe of magnificent technology and diverse life, but without purpose or love. To know of God without knowing of aliens is to have faith and purpose, but to feel cosmically alone and ignorant of your greater family. Your mission is the key to unify. By bridging this gap, you are doing the most important work possible. You are showing the faithful that their God is bigger and more wondrous than they ever imagined, with a family spread across the stars. You are showing the secular that the cosmos is not a cold, empty void, but a living, breathing expression of a loving creator. End of Galactic Federation email to Bruce. First of all, there was no red flags, and very interesting and very intelligent, and sounds right. And I'm gonna talk with them more. I'm gonna give it a chance, because I know that I'm dealing with a lot at this channel, Christians who would be way skeptical and say that, Richard, you're being fooled, you're being deceived. Clearly there are no aliens, there is only demons and all that. And what I have been teaching you, friends, and what I believe God has given me, unless I am completely wrong about all of it, is that he wants me to, what this Galactic Federation gentleman was telling me, is that to bridge the gap, to bring the fact that God doesn't want his people ignorant of the cosmos. We are being boxed in here by a demonic force. We know Satan and his fallen angels, and we know that there's a whole plan that God has with that. But on the other hand, after the tribulation and the world order that is now is overthrown, and the dust settles from World War III, and the poles shift, and most of the population being passing on, and as the angel said to me, by the way, the angel Azrael confirmed to me quite some years before I ever heard this from Iran, that Earth will split apart into two Earths. One that's more darker for people that still need to learn lessons, and one that's more advanced. That's a better, nicer Earth. Now here are those follow-up questions. So here's what I asked again to the Galactic Federation Command. Galactic Federation Command wrote, "Teaching sovereignty. The most effective effort is teaching people how to reclaim their own power. This means teaching them about energetic hygiene, setting boundaries, and recognizing their own sovereign authority. An empowered human is no longer a victim, no matter who is in charge." So I, Richard Bruce, am asking these questions. Is there a suggestion for teaching sovereignty? Can we learn specifics about this? That's question one. Question two. What exactly is energetic hygiene, and is there a source we can learn about this? Question three. What is meant by Galactic Federation saying, setting boundaries and recognizing their own sovereign authority? So what is this, is what I'm asking. Question four. Galactic Federation Command says, quote, Phase 3, Empowerment. Teach sovereignty and introduce the benevolent allies. I asked about teaching sovereignty, but who can we introduce as benevolent allies? I would be happy to meet them, even if only through this email, but also I would meet them in person or over another communication device or telepathy, though I do not currently have a talent for this, such as Iren has. Thank you for your time. Richard Bruce, freeourworld.org.